Hi, my name is Jennifer Dixon with Thrive Yoga and Wellness and Thrive Online. Today we are going to be talking about a posture that is in the primary series called Ardha Baddha Padma Paschimottanasana, or you can just be like a bound half-lotus pose. This takes a whole bunch of openness in the shoulders as well as in the hips. It's the third posture of the seated series in the primary series, so that is a whole bunch of prepositions, and it is a really great way to make sure that your hips are nice and open and that your shoulders are nice and open. To get started, is that the third series? Yep, I think it's the third posture, yep. To get started, you're going to have your legs out in front of you, and you have your toes up. Everything's really active. Go ahead and extend through that left leg, and you're going to bring that right foot up into your chest, up into your body. Now, if you have super open hips, you're going to go ahead and come into your half-lotus, Padmasana, and then you've got your right heel kind of towards your belly button, the right toes wrapping around your waist. Your right shoulder is going to internally rotate to reach around behind the back. You see my fingers? They're saying hi. And then you pull the toes back a little bit to grab hold of the right feet. Makes it look so easy, right? If you've got the bind and everything's good, you're going to lean forward over that extended left leg and bring your your forehead towards your shin, making sure that you hold on to the foot to keep it active. And I like to pull back on the outside of my foot, like on the pinky toe side of the foot. It gives me a little bit of extra credit calf stretch. I like to also remind you to look down because if you look up, it can really crick your neck, and that's not awesome. Now, I can totally see you right now being like, holy crap, this lady is crazy. I can't do that with my shoulders. My knee would kill me. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about some modifications that you can do to get into your Ardha Baddha Padma. So step one is you make sure your hips are nice and warm. So definitely don't just come into this posture like first thing in the morning. I would make sure you've done some warming up. That's why you've already done the standing series of Ashtanga when you get to this particular posture. Now, if you noticed, I picked my right leg up and I'm kind of holding the shin like it's a baby. I like to joke and say that we're rocking our leg baby, right? This is just getting this hip used to the idea of being in this position so it'll relax. It'll relax some because trust me, the hip is a much tighter, it's held in place by much tighter ligaments and meat, we're just going to leave it at meat, than the knees are. So if you force this posture, the knees are going to give before the hips do any day, and I would rather not have anybody's knees or hips give. So rock this little leg, baby. And then when you've got it as relaxed as it's possibly going to be, we're going to set that right leg down on top of the left leg. So if you notice, my right ankle is in the meat of my left thigh. My right foot is flexed, as is my left foot. You don't have to have it like super flexed, but I tend to drop over to the side if I don't flex it. So I'm going to be pretty flexed in order to keep my foot forward and my left hip internally rotating slightly because it just likes to go externally rotated all the time. Make sure you keep that right foot flexed, and then you sit here and you pray. I'm just kidding. You just wait. You give it some time. Wait for that hip to open up. Over time, you're going to be able to lean into this posture a little bit more, and you're going to feel this stretching along the outside of that right hip all the way down maybe into that IT band. If you feel this in your knee, don't bring your heel up so high. Maybe you bring your right ankle over your left shin. Maybe you just barely cross it, and then over time, as everything relaxes, you bring that heel higher and higher up the thigh. Eventually, your heel is going to be basically where your thigh and your belly kind of meet. Now, those of you that have some thick thighs, that's me, in order to make room for this posture, I usually have to rotate my calf out of the way. So I brought my right hand underneath my right calf and I pushed it out of the way with the help of my left hand. That gets the calf out of the way to be able to get the right heel up a little higher. My teacher always taught that you put the right heel to the belly button and you bring the sole of the foot across the belly. Now that was my late teacher, Donna. Manju's never specifically said belly button connection, but I kind of like it there. And I like how there's this energetic connection of my foot across my entire belly where I can breathe in all that prana to help hopefully burn off with the Agni, the fire, anything that's going on in my body. Now, you'll notice once you've got your foot up as high as your belly button and up high onto the thigh, these toes are a little bit closer. Now, if your shoulders are just super tight from lifting weights, a lifelong of reaching forward, this might be a long way to go behind you. That's okay. So the next step is you bring your left hand and grab hold of that right foot, and then you have this elbow that's sticking out, right? Try to grab your left elbow. Now you'll notice that you've got the internal rotation of that right shoulder that's necessary to complete the pose, but you might not have the openness required to grab the toe, right? And if you notice how I'm like twisting into it to grab it, if this is a really, really, really tough stretch, hang out here holding on to that right foot with your left hand and just use your left elbow to forward fold. You'll find that as you forward fold, you're going to feel a nice stretch along the right shoulder. If it hurts, don't do it. Back out and bring your hand forward some. Take it out of this really sharp internal rotation and openness. Over time, as you work on this and you breathe, you're going to be able to, your body's going to open up more and more. And if you notice, my elbow went from being way far out to the right of my body to almost all the way behind my right body. And that was the length that I needed to grab my toe. Now, something that I've seen lots of people do, especially when they start out, is, if you probably noticed, I actually turned towards the right, which brought my hand further close to the front and on the left, right? So I went from barely being able to reach to that twist. Now I can reach almost my ankle, right? That's a kind of a cheat way to do it. And I don't love this one particularly, especially if you have sensitive shoulders, because here we are in this twist and we're supposed to be leaning over that left foot. Now, if you go too fast, if you're not warm, or if you've got issues with the shoulder, that twisting back can be quite a torque on the shoulder, and I don't love to teach that. But for somebody who's really, really, really close to the bind, go for it. And if you're confident and you pay attention to what your body's signaling for you, you can totally do that external twist, that twist over to the right to grab the right toe, and then slowly, mindfully bring yourself back in. And if you noticed, I sort of brought my knee a little bit closer too, which also helps to bring everything closer together so that shoulder doesn't have to work as hard. Leaning forward, grabbing the toe, try to keep the foot up, and maybe bring the outside of the foot back towards the face to get the calf extra credit, and eventually the forehead reaches towards the shin. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Again, my name is Jennifer Dixon. If you were practicing this posture at home, definitely try to hold it for at least 5 breaths. And on the harder side, hold it even longer. Something that I do want to mention is, if my knee is giving me grief, which sometimes it does, I'm closer to 40 now than I am 30, which is awesome. I will sometimes grab like a balled up pair of socks and put it behind my knee before I bind. This is for any Padmasana, any lotus posture. Having that little bit of space created behind the knee can be just what I need to help get my lotus without any pain. And again, if you feel pain, don't do it. Back out. You don't have to have these Padmasanas. You don't have to, you're not going to go to yoga jail if you don't have a super tight Padmasana, a super tight lotus. So work your edge, because you want the hip to open up slowly so that you're not forcing it and tearing anything in the knees. Thanks again so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to watching this video. I hope you will like and subscribe to our channel. And if you are in the Chattanooga area, be sure to look us up at Thrive Yoga and Wellness. We're located right off of East Brainerd Road. And if you are not in the area, be sure to check us out online at our online yoga community. We have a great membership site where you can practice with us. We have a growing content library, anything from full-length classes that were shot live to full-length sequences. And you can actually, the coolest part about our membership is that you get to practice with us live. And if you want, you turn on your camera and you can get some feedback from experienced and knowledgeable teachers. So you might be home, but you're not alone. Thank you so much again for watching. I can't wait to see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.